Hi there. Let's talk about titration. This is a concept from somatic psychology, and somatic comes from the word soma, which is the body. So it's the study of the body and how the body informs our psyche and the other way around. And of course, we can't separate the two, but in our modern day thinking, we still do. So titration is the idea that we can pace ourselves, essentially. It's the idea that we can take a little bit of an experience at a time, only the amount that we can realistically digest and that we feel we have the capacity for in a moment, and then step away. Now, the reason I find this concept so helpful is that many of us, especially when we have a binge eating constellation happening within us, what's happening is that we have a kind of all or nothing approach to life, to forming new habits as well. So when we think of the habit of how we create our relationship with food, we often have this is what I've seen from my own experience first and foremost, but also my experience with clients, is that we have this approach of either I'm on the wagon or off the wagon. Either it's everything or it's nothing, and it's like there's no wiggle room in life. And the moment we're off the wagon, there's another whole piece that happens where the voices come in of, I messed up or I failed. And then we sort of start to shame spiral down and forget all the progress that we've made. And this creates a lack of confidence and starts to really create this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's important to start to see our walk to any goal as a process of very small steps that build on each other. And when we talk about titration on a kind of zoomed in level, titration recognizes that there's a sort of pulsation that goes on in any process. So there's a pulsation of expansion and contraction, and you can even close your eyes right now and just feel this kind of process, a rhythmical, you can create it in your body, a sensation of expanding and contracting, almost like a jellyfish or something floating in the water. And you can also relate it to your breath, right? Moving out and then back in. So the thing about titration is that it acknowledges that we cannot have the expansion without a contraction. So this relates to learning curves, and I'll talk more about learning curves in another video. But why is this so important? Because when we're on any learning curve, we are really taking bit by bit and building on what we have before. So we need to start to take the mindset that the brick that we laid down is still in place, that there's actually, it's not going anywhere, right? And we can keep building on it, even if we had to step away for a moment. So if we're learning a new food plan or way of eating or way of organizing our food, then we can really see it as, so I'll have, maybe a week, maybe a day, maybe half a day on this food plan, and then I have to step away. And it's not that I'm stepping away because I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough or I'm not strong enough. That kind of language with ourselves only perpetuates the problem. But we start to have an approach of, I'm building my capacity, and I can only build my capacity from where I am. So with time, I trust that my capacity will get bigger, but it can get bigger bit by bit. And it might not even be noticeable. And oftentimes, when we're on a learning curve, we don't actually realize that we know as much as we know. We think we're still stuck back there because it takes a while for the ego and our identity to catch up with what is kind of upgraded about us. So that's normal. And I just encourage you to start really regarding any climb up any mountain as a series of baby steps. And this is very smart, because if we realize this, then every time we have to step away, take a break, not be so actively in the learning curve, then we don't see it so much anymore as that we're sliding back down the mountain. We see it as, I'm taking a break, I'm taking a breath, and then I'm going to continue. And that is actually an incredibly smart, rooted, empowered way of continuing down any path or up any path. So titration. Okay, see you next time.